As a music producer, you need to be able to utilise as many tools as possible to produce the cleanest and best sounds. One of the best ways to give your sounds a unique edge is with effects plugins, but I've already covered that in a previous video, which I will leave a link to in the top right corner. The most fundamental way to start creating sounds as a producer is with a virtual synthesizer. Most studio software will come with its own stock plugins. For example, Mixcraft 9 has Acoustica instruments, including things such as Impulse, Journeys, Lounge Lizard Electric Piano, Messiah and Minimoog, to name a few. Now, depending on the kind of music you're trying to make, these might be all the synths you need. You probably won't have to expand your horizons very far. But for someone like me, who aspires to produce very high quality EDM sounds, even with all the effects plugins I now have, they just don't really do the job well enough. So once again, I have to divert my attention to the internet to find some better sounds. One of the biggest problems with synth software is that it's normally very expensive. Spire and Serum, the biggest synths in the world right now, are currently $189 each, which is more expensive than Mixcraft 9, the software that I use to make everything. So what do you do if you're a producer like me on a low budget? You look for free synth software, of course. As expected, most free synth softwares are pretty bad, but this isn't true for all of them. Almost all of the synths I own are completely free, but which ones do I use the most? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today I'm counting down my top 10 free VST synth plugins. Number 10, Element of Surprise by Ugo. Is it Ugo? Is it Ugo? I'm not sure. Probably the easiest and most basic synth you'll ever come across, this VST is very unique in that it allows you to make completely randomised sounds. There are literally no other controls, just click the big exclamation mark and away you go. You have hundreds and hundreds of randomly generated sounds at your fingertips. It's creative, yet simple. But why is it at the number 10 spot? Well, don't forget, more advanced synths can already do this randomisation and much more. You'll essentially be sitting there clicking that button for about half an hour trying to find a decent sound, which will happen completely by chance. There are a few buttons on the interface, but it's not really clear what they do. But trust me, this is one synth that can provide hours worth of entertainment. Number 9, Low Bit Monosynth by D10 Labo. Yet another extremely basic synth with an easy to use interface, this low bit synth is perfect for lo-fi producers or chiptune enthusiasts, since it can produce a lot of incredibly primitive sounds you might hear from an NES game, for example. Using two oscillators, you can select various waveforms such as a sine wave, pulse waves with different widths, saw wave, triangle wave, and static noises like white and pink. You can also control the attack, decay and release envelope. There is no sustain control, unfortunately, but there is an FM control, an LFO control and a portamento control. If you're a complete beginner when it comes to sound design, this synth is a great opportunity to explore the most basic aspects of synthesis. Number 8, Helm by Matt Teitel. We're moving on to a piece of freemium software now, which happens to be great for electronic producers like myself. You can see that the interface is much more advanced and remains clean and easy to digest. Because of this increase in complexity, I'm not going to be going over every single control and parameter that it has, but I am going to mention the most relevant stuff. It has two oscillators with a variety of shapes, plus a sub-oscillator and a mini mixer to balance each one. We can now graphically control each envelope, including an amplitude, filter and modulation envelope. We have 3 LFOs to play around with on the bottom, a step sequencer, portamento and glide control, randomization, plus a set of built-in effects in the top right, including reverb, delay, distortion, and some more unique ones such as stutter and formant. There are also a ton of presets to check out, which every synth should definitely have in my opinion, and I used a lead preset from this synth in the VIP mix of Azazel. Some very interesting sound choices in this synth if you are willing to ignore the notice at the beginning of every startup to donate to the creator. It is freemium after all. Number 7, Tyrell N6 by Yuhi. Yuhi? What's with these names? A well-designed synth would be scratching the surface in describing this one. It includes all the controls you would expect from a high-end synth, but mainly boasts a ton of presets designed by a lot of talented producers and synthesis experts. It would definitely take a sizable chunk of time to explore all these sounds, but they're great for pretty much any producer. I don't want to have to go through every controller again, so I just say, go and explore it when you get the chance. Number 6, Kyra Tune by Futucraft. Lots of interesting sounds, a lot more flexibility in terms of controls, and a sleek design. Moving on. Yeah, it's at this point in the video I'd just like to point out how repetitive this sort of thing kind of gets to be. All the synthesizers are very similar. They all have a large number of complex controls and parameters to mess around with. They all have loads of different presets, so from here on it's going to be much the same thing. I'm just going to warn you guys. Number 5, Surge by Claes Johansson. Number 5, Surge by Claes Johansson. This one is very well known among EDM producers because of its ability to produce, well, EDM type sounds basically, and a lot of them. It doesn't have the easiest interface to use in my opinion, but again there are a lot of great presets to choose from for whatever type of electronic sound you're looking for, and again a lot of the presets are designer presets, so they're designed to impress, and they do. Number 4, Tau Bassline by Tau. One of the most important aspects of a great track is a great bassline, especially a dance track. There's no doubt that the other synths mentioned in this list can produce some great bass sounds too, but the Tau bassline synth is designed to make easily mixable bass lines for any kind of electronic track, and I've used it a lot in my sound designs due to its simplicity. Number 3, Nightlife by Acoustica. Made by the same people that made Mixcraft 9, Nightlife is a simple and easy to use synth designed to be used by dance and electronic producers. I've been using it in my tracks for years now, and while it's definitely not the perfect synth, it has, caused some crashes on my end in the past, it offers some very easy sound design options, a bunch of useful presets, free oscillators, and a built-in vowel synth to make more human-like noises, which is a lot of fun to play around with. Number 2, Tau Noisemaker by Tau. Another gemstone by Tau, this time allowing the ability to make many more clean and useful sounds for electronic music. It boasts not only a sleek and retractable design, but also a plethora of great sounds to play around with, built-in effects, and a lot of controllers to mess around with. This is one synth you'll definitely want in your program. So what could be better? Number 1, Synth Master Player by KV331 Audio. This is the synth that has ultimately changed the quality of my sound. The synth that provided the upgrade I needed to take my EDM production to the next level. Synth Master Player boasts hundreds of amazing quality presets and does have lower flexibility as it doesn't focus as much on sound design, but sometimes that's what's important. Let's be honest, it doesn't matter how skilled you are with synthesis. Even the most competent producers will look for presets at the beginning and they will tweak them slightly when they find one that they like. All the complex controls found on other synths are not necessary when you're just looking for a great sound you can have without fear of copyright. If there's any synth that nails the simplistic quality while having some incredible sounds to offer, it's this one. And the best thing about it, it's completely free. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, please leave a comment saying what you enjoyed about the video and what you didn't, if you agreed with my list or not. And of course, please be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching and I will see you guys soon. Bye!